Hello everyone. How's your day been going? So, I've been informed by many people that I play too much Workshop. So, I figured who better than to go over the Genesis list and try to inform the people who might not know who some of these niche characters are, just exactly how to play them, all the details about them, what they're good at, what they're not good at, some things you might not know, and just in general, have fun. I got blueberries. But that's what we're going to be doing today. So for those of you who have not seen the Genesis list, it is rather important, so I'm going to leave a link right now, actually. But that is the Genesis list. Any check marks in there are the characters that are 100% going to be confirmed. Any open boxes are characters that they're considering, some more than others, but for the most part, if they have anybody on that list is most likely going to be in. Like that's just what I'm assuming. Some might be cut, but most will be in. Anyway, let us get started. Let's get some music. Let's put on some Xenoblade music. Why not? Alrighty. So, I'll put the blueberries away for now. We gotta save these for later. I've got one bag to last us a stream. I don't think it'll probably take like a quarter of the stream to finish it, but whatever. Alright. So our first character today... Oh! I don't have game audio. Let me fix that. Game audio is rather important. I hope Indeed is proud of my my background here. Alright. So, first things first. Mallow. Many of you are familiar with Mallow at this point. I think, like, Mallow is, like, the biggest reason why there's so many, like, prominent OCs in the Workshop right now, especially among the legal characters. But, needless to say, Mallow is, very good. And a very, very, very cool character. So, Mallow's definitely a zoner. They have some pretty fast moves. They're not exactly, like, the slowest thing around either. They were toned back from a bit ago, but they're relatively fast, especially compared to most zoners. But yeah, like I said, a lot of quick moves. But the main gimmick are these bombs here. Now you can use these bombs in the air, on the ground, wherever. You can only ever have 2 out at a time, I'm pretty sure. But basically, you have these bombs. They're tied to your smash attacks. So you don't really have normal smash attacks. However, you do just have bombs. Oh, you can have more than 2 out if you charge. That's weird. And these bombs are pretty good. You have different kinds of bombs. These are the default bombs. They do some pretty good knockback, actually. Like, very respectable knockback for, you know, what they are. But this is probably going to be, like, how Mallow gets most of their kills is through these default bombs. Just because, yeah, look at that. They're so strong. The other unique thing about the bombs is that they can be hit. So one thing that I really like doing as Mallow, and I've seen a lot of other Mallow players do this as well, they like to do down throw and hit the bomb immediately. And hitting the bomb does a couple things. For one, you see how, like, that bomb took, like, you know, a solid, like, second, maybe 2 seconds to explode? But if I hit the bomb into the character, it explodes earlier. So, these bombs become a much more threatening projectile if you hit them. The key thing when doing this is to make sure that you're using the down smash, like, in a neutral position. I recommend using a C-stick if you have smash stick. But just tapping down and then buffering a tilt afterwards. Or just pressing a tilt afterwards. You don't have to buffer it. In fact, I suggest not buffering it, because otherwise, what'll happen is you can accidentally angle it and you can't hit it. So just make sure that you neutral throw the down bombs. And, yeah. Alternatively, you can just throw the bombs. But, again, that takes a little bit... That's a little bit slower in comparison. But yeah, just like, you know, do up tilt immediately, forward tilt immediately, down tilt you kind of have to wait a little bit, doesn't really work. With dash attack, also have to wait a little bit, maybe? Yeah, yep, sure enough. And then you can also do jab 2. So you have plenty of options. I think you can also aerial, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, this is very good, because again, it just, like, it makes it so that the bomb explodes sooner. I think it only explodes sooner if it actually makes contact. Yeah, like that. But, pretty good. But like I said, this is one of the types of bombs that Mallow has. You also have the baseballs. Unlike the other bombs, this bomb cannot be hit. They explode immediately, so there's no timer on it. They just explode immediately. They're probably the most different out of all the bombs. And they're a lot weaker, but a lot more spammable. Like, you can zone a lot more freely with these baseballs. They just won't give you as much value. I kind of like them for, like, you know, just quick options, like, during an edge guard, but, like, quick pressure, but you have other options for that as well. And I'm no Mallow player, so I wouldn't... Don't take my opinion as law. The other bomb is another bomb is a firecracker. This is a multi-hit bomb that blows up, hits the opponent 4 times after a set amount of time, and you can get some pretty easy combos out of it as well if you're not bad like me. I'm bad. If you set it up right, you can combo them into each other, like that, and they rack up damage fast. Like, this is definitely, like, I think at low percents, this is probably your go-to bomb. But, yeah, and you can get setups out of it. Like, firecrackers are absurd. I think they're the best bomb, personally, because, you know, they rack up so much damage, they cover so much space, and, like, they linger, and on top of that, you can get combo setups out of it, or kill confirms out of it. Like, the firecrackers are very good. And I think the lingering is what does it for me. Another good combo bomb is the flashbang. This forces a stun onto the opponent, which allows for even easier kill confirms at high percents. It's not super useful at low percent because it only does like 2%. Or actually, it does nothing. Never mind. I think it does 2% if it hits them, but... Like, let me throw this. Yeah, it does 2% if it hits them. but it stuns them, and you can get a bat charge in. You can even get a fully charged bat off of a flashbang, which can kill super early. I'm not good at it. I still think, you know, this is obviously, like, extremely good. Because you can chain them together and, like, you know, just chain stun them, basically. If you have bombs coming in from multiple angles. I'm not good at it. Yeah, well, you see, like, I got it, right? But then I wasn't able to follow up. Like, I think that's one of the things that Maul is definitely one of the more difficult characters to play. It takes a little bit of getting used to. But the stuff is there. Like, this character's got sauce. But yeah, otherwise, the last bomb is a bit of an interesting one. This is the, I don't know what it's called. I'm just gonna call it a big bomb. You get, 2 of them, or is it 2 or 4? I'm not sure. I don't actually know how many it is. Let me double check. Let's see. 1. What the heck? How did I get 2 before? I don't know. Either way, you get a certain amount of big bombs, and then afterward it's back to the normal bombs again. Finishers, got it. Okay, so the finisher, it doesn't go as far as other bombs, and it also has a much larger cooldown. However, it has much more knockback and a much bigger hitbox. It's kinda hard to use, I found. It's very situational. Oh, what? Wait a minute. Oh, I see how it works. Okay, so only one of the finishers can be out at a time. If you try to throw another, it'll be the normal bombs. I see. Dang, do I just always have that then? I guess I do. Yeah, and then if you want just the normal bombs back, you can press no direction, like just press special again, and it'll be back to the normal bombs. But yeah, anyway, as far as this character goes, like, again, very mobile zoner, and you can absolutely, like, put out, like, a ton of hitboxes at once with just this, you know, using down throw and hitting it immediately to arm it. You end up covering, like, a lot of space. Like, this is crazy. The opponent, like, if you're playing against the Mallow, you have to be ready to know, like, okay, what are the angles that Mallow can hit the bombs at? Because otherwise, you're gonna get, like, hit by everything. And it's not gonna be a fun time. As far as the character's weaknesses go, they're definitely a lot weaker once you get in on them. Because the thing is, like, you can hit these bombs, like, super far away. But if you're right on me, I don't exactly have time to set this up. Because I have to down throw it and then hit it. Alternatively, I could just throw it, but then it just doesn't blow up, like, nearly in time. Like, this is much more threatening. So because of that, if you're pressuring Mallow, you're not giving them the time to set up the down throw, which is huge. Again, easier said than done if you're, you know, the Mallow's moving around, occasionally throwing it in here or there, maybe throwing out some normals as well. Like easier said than done. But if you do get in on them, Mallow's a lot weaker. One thing that you can do, as of more recently, is you can hit the bombs back. So if you need to protect yourself last minute, that is absolutely something you can do. The other weakness, quote-unquote, that Mallow has is her kill power. Like I said, this character does not have normal smash attacks. So your kill moves are kinda limited in that regard. Down B is your bat, which is very good. It's a very solid kill move, and as I said, you can get it off of the flashbang. Maul's a guy. I know, I make that mistake all the time. I'm sorry. But yeah, you can get a bat confirm off of a flashbang. It's really good off of flashbang. And you can also get it off of the firecracker. Like Like, that is usually how you'll get most of your kills off of, like, a bomb setup. Like I said, normal bombs are also very good at killing. They have some very solid kill power behind them. But so normal bombs definitely help with kills. Flashbang setups, you can go for flashbang setups into the bat. The other kill option that you do have is your forward air. It's a little hard to hit because it forces you to, like, move forward in a weird arc. Like, if you're just trying to do a short hop forward air, you can't really... It raises you up so much that you can't really get it super easily unless the opponent jumps into it like that. It's definitely a call-out type of move, or if you hit a super, like, deep off-stage flashbang, you can go off-stage with a forward air and be super sick. But it's probably like one of my favorite animations in the workshop. Like, it just looks so sick. Just, Okay, I love the forward air. It's sick. But yeah. But otherwise, I'd say that's a pretty good overview of Malo. A very, like, flexible zoner. When I say flexible, I mean more so in their movement and, like, how they can control the stage. Usually they're not going to be the one aggressing, especially after the speed reduction. But you do have the option to if you, like, you know, you find yourself cornered. Yeah. You cannot escape the forward aerial. Exactly. So that's Malo. Next up, we have Palm. Now Palm is the first Diamond in the Rough character to come out. Very, very similar to Peach. But they do have their differences. And Palm is probably one of my personal favorites. So, the thing about Palm is that you have a lot of moves that are very quick. Like, very little startup. And they deal pretty solid damage. Like, Nair does 11, which is crazy. Like, just in general, you have a lot of quick moves that deal damage fast. Which is, again, pretty similar to Peach. The thing about Palm is that she is a bit slower than most characters, movement-wise. She's not a heavy by any means. In fact, I'm pretty sure she's as light as Raster, but she is a little bit slower. So because of, and on top of that, she doesn't have the most range. All of her moves are pretty short range. Aside from the Song Note, which is her one projectile. The Song Note is breakable, so and again, it only covers so much space. However, if you get it, it has a pretty considerable amount of hit stun. Like, let me turn on hitboxes. Yeah, see, like that forced tech at 0. Like, the Song Note has a very considerable amount of hit stun. So you can absolutely, like, get some combos off of Song Note. Like, any Song Note into aerials. At higher percents, you can do Song Note up smash or Song Note up air for kills. If I'm not bad. Like that. Like that as well. So it's very solid. And on top of that, like, again, you pull it out and then you always have it. You just press neutral B again and you throw it out. Is a very quick projectile. It's a lot like her normals, basically. The other thing that Palm has in terms of range is her side B. Now, this doesn't look like much. This is just one variant of it where you tap it. However, if you hold it, it does that, which is very hard to react to. It hits them from range.
Don't forget me.
So this is sort of like, I'd say, your best way of dealing with people at range, and I think it's very crazy. This ID is very strong, especially because you have a lot of like short range, quick moves that are like don't really go very far. You have the neutral B, but that's destroyable, and you know you can't just like it's slow as well. But that's good. Confirms into up air as well. It's very solid. And then lastly, the thing that I haven't really been talking about as much is the float. Now if you're familiar with Peach, you're familiar with the float. Putting it plainly. What? That's not the right... Come on. Music... YouTube's breaking on me. Okay. So... the float... Like, float canceling, you can do it. But... you don't really need to, because you can just hit fall. Like, float canceling does not translate well to a game with hit falling. So you don't really use float canceling really at all as Palm, I'd say. Float canceling is not that great. But what you do use float for is just positioning and sorry, and stalling. Yeah, I'm going off of a preliminary list. Thank you, guys. Like, if I'm the opponent, like, here I am, I'm trying to bait out an aerial or some kind of attack, and then I can, like, you know, just afterwards, just drop down on them, like that. And this is, you know, this is the big thing. That's mostly what float is used for, is it's used for positioning and waiting the opponent out. The other thing that float is used for is this handy dandy little song field here. If you float in the song field, you can move in any direction. Whereas, you know, normally outside of it, you can only move, like, you know, left and right. But in the song field, you can go wherever you want. You can fly up. And you can even fly a little bit outside of the song field as well until the timer runs out. There's like a 1 second timer where you can float outside of the song field, and then you're locked back into normal floating. Yeah, no copyrighted characters at G7. But yeah. So this float is very good. The other thing about the song field that it's super good for, if you uppy into it, you don't go into pratfall, which makes Palm's recoveries very hard to stop. Like, I think this character by far has the best recovery game in the workshop, like, compared to League Quaker. Actually, that's not true, Clover exists. But aside from Clover, like, trying to edgeguard Palm is gonna be a struggle. And it makes this character's disadvantage very strong. Especially because you can just set it up like that. Like, you can do wall jump, down B, up B, and then you're already floating. You also get another uppy out of it, I'm pretty sure? No, you don't. You don't. Do not get another uppy. But Song Field is extremely strong for recovery. If you're big brain, you can also go for some setups out of it. Like, for example, one of my personal favorites is hitting them with an up B when they're DIing hard in, and then floating up with an up air to kill. That's a really cool confirm. That's probably one of my favorites. But yeah. Otherwise, you know, aside from, you know, the song field... Oh, one other thing about the song field. If you throw a music note into it, it will increase in speed. So you see how it, like, picks up a little bit? Like, compared to this to this? Definitely a lot faster in the song field. Hey, thanks for the follows, guys.
Don't forget me.
But yeah, just in general, Palm, you know, aside from the float stuff, which does take a little bit of getting used to, it's not nearly as bad as Peach because you don't have to float cancel. Like I think learning Palm is way easier than learning Peach. However, you know, as far as you know, just trying to pick up the character, she's pretty simple. You will have to play defensive as her. I think she is a very defensive-oriented character because she doesn't have, you know, the most speed or the most range out of any characters. She kind of relies on, you know, waiting out the opponent's options and beating them with quick options. That's kind of the way she plays. Again, like Peach. And just in general, like, she has solid kill power, really good frame data, really good damage. And this side B, I still don't know how I feel about that side B. The side B's crazy. But yeah, just a really, really good character overall. I think it's a solid pick. Pretty much anyone can play this character, I'd say. They're very good. But anyway, I think the one problem you will have with this character is if you're trying to go up against other characters that either have, like, a lot of range or a big projectile game, you might have, you know, a bit more trouble. Simply because, you know, you don't have the most speed and you don't have the biggest zoning game out there. Although the side B really helps. But yeah. No, Palm's very good. Palm is a very good character, very well designed, and very fun to play. Next off, we have, Palm made me like floaties. Honestly, though. Alright, so Mr. Trumbull and Alto here. So, Trumbull and Alto is a very, very unique character. They break a lot of, like, the normal rules in Rivals, and they do it in a really cool way. Namely, the air dodge. So, your main form of recovery is actually your air dodge. Whenever you air dodge, it puts you into pratfall, and you can see you do have, like, that little hop out of it. And what that does, it also puts out these clouds here. And you can interact with these clouds in a couple of ways. First of which is your down special, which is this rain. Now, you can combo off of that. Like if I put this out, you can start a combo off of it. The other thing it does is it puts on that soak status that you see right here. Now, what that soak status does, first off, if the opponent hits you twice, like I'll make the opponent fight me here. 1 and 2, and now the soak status is removed. So whenever the opponent hits you twice, you get rid of soak. So soak is actually pretty easy to get rid of because the only thing, like pretty much one combo will get rid of soak. It's not hard to get rid of. Soak doesn't get removed up. I actually didn't know that. That's good to know. But yeah. So what Soak does is, as you can see, you have these special moves. Like this is my side special, right? Kind of pops them up. Doesn't really. It's kind of hard to convert off of it because it knocks you back so much. But you know, it's a very good projectile. But if I side B them when they're soaked, they go into Clarence Sun, which allows you to follow up. And all of your up specials are like this. For example, the up special, the water Molotov there. If I soak them, then it stuns, and I can follow up if I'm good. The other unique thing about clouds here is the neutral B. If you hit neutral B, the clouds will go up for a follow-up. And whichever direction that Trumbull is facing, for example, I'm facing to the right here, so the clouds will send to the right. If I were facing the left, the clouds would send to the left. You can move pretty far with neutral B. If you hold the button down, you move up, like that, as opposed to tapping it, which doesn't really give you much height at all. You can kind of... I don't know if you can control how high you go, but aside from, like, you know, holding it and not holding it, but... Yeah, can someone post the legal list again? Just copy-paste it. So, yeah. And when they're stunned, I believe it also has extra knockback, the cloud follow-up. Come on. There you go. Yeah. So as you can see, that killed very early. So Neutral Sexual is really good. Just in general, this character has, like, a lot of air mobility. They rely a lot about, like, just moving around, comboing the opponent with the aerials. They're very air-focused. It's kind of like Raster, but a little bit more zony, if I had to describe it. There's no aerial smash attacks. I guess I can talk about that next. So, you can't use the smash attacks in the air. Like, if I try to press the smash attack button, it won't work. However, if you start the smash attack on the ground, charge it, and then move, you can fly with them, basically. So, it's not like Ellie smash attacks, but you can move around, and you choose where you go. The other thing to note is that, as you can see, like, compared to the air dodge, where I have a ton of drift off of it, you don't have quite as much. In fact, barely any. Which means if you try to go to a super far off stage, you might wanna rethink it. However, if you hit the opponent with the smash attack, you do get that extra drift. Like, compare that to this. Like, it's a very notable difference. So if you want to, like, hit an opponent with, like, a flying smash attack super far off stage, but then you miss, you might die, but if you hit it, you live. I think that's really cool, personally. But anyway. Yeah, the clouds themselves, you can set them up with air dodges, with the smash attacks if you hop off it. You can also set up with rolls, which is probably the best way to set them up in my opinion, just because it's very quick. Like, wave landing, wave dashing doesn't set up clouds, just the rolls. I believe tech rolling also sets up a cloud, but yeah. Overall, Trumbull is a very, very good character. They're very light. Again, they're like Raster, but a bit more zoner based. But I think, you know, learning this character is gonna boil down a lot to getting used to the recovery, like getting used to the air dodge. This air dodge will fuck with you at first, like straight up. It's very different, but once you get it down and you start learning, like, okay, this is how I use this move. This is how I use this move. I can, like, sort of chain these moves together. You know, it's sort of like all just comes together. The one other thing I want to talk about is their dash attack. Their dash attack's very good. Right, like, as it is, it's not great. Like, this I can't act out of it at all. It's very, very, like, laggy. However, if you hit it, you can cancel it into other moves. So stuff like dash attack nair works really, really well. I also really like doing a dash attack into neutral B. That's one of my favorite setups, because it's very good at just, like, getting a confirm, basically. You gotta space it right, though. Let me try that again. Or not. It is DI dependent. Whatever. I'm not gonna waste any more time. That's Trumbull. Very cool character. Very unique as well. I think if you're trying to play against them, you know, like, playing as them or against them, you have to get used to the air dodge, because this is their main form of recovery. If you see the Trummel air dodge, get ready to hit them. That's basically what I'll say. Oh yeah, the opponent can hit clouds to deactivate them. That's pretty important. Yeah, they will, hitting the cloud as the opponent, like, let me see if I can make Clarin to do it. This might be hard. The CPU is very dumb. Hey, there we go. You see how it stuns it there? And it sort of flashes? Yeah. So it basically just puts it and I can't interact with it. Like if I try to use down B, you see how that cloud didn't do the rain? That's basically what it does. It just makes it so that the cloud doesn't do anything. Anyway. Moving on. So Ashe is a bit of a weird one. So Ashe is a very fast character. Like very fast. This is like Maple levels of fast basically. And they have a lot of moves that are very quick. A lot of people compare this character to Little Mac just because it's a lot of very fast character with very quick moves and quick frame data. The aerials aren't at nearly as bad, although they are hard to use, in my opinion. She does have Sandbert there, so there's that. But, yeah, no. Her specials are kind of jank. So, Side B is this little, like, Fox Illusion thing. It's very hard to convert out of. You can cancel it on hit, but because it moves you so far, it's you have to, like, space it at max distance in order to combo off of it like that. You can't do, like, Side B up smash, I think. Nope, only tilts. Never mind. I lied. But otherwise, the Side B is mostly for recovery. Up B is very jank. This move can be hit followed for some reason. And it has like a late hit that can be sometimes be active on the ground. Like if I'm recovering like this, and I'm recovering from, oh Jesus, that's worse than I thought. Yeah, if I'm recovering like that, okay, let's move Absa to the ledge a little bit. If I'm, alright, basically, there's a finishing hit like that, but it's very easy to not get the finishing hit, and sometimes the finishing hit will, like, only happen, like, on the ground. It's very odd. Yeah, like that. Like, sometimes they'll fall out of it, and then fall into it. This move's just very inconsistent in general. You can use it as a combo finisher, as it is probably your best option for killing off the top aside from up smash, which you can't use in the air. So, like, aerial-wise, it's, like, you can definitely make use of it. But again, very inconsistent. It's kind of risk. As far as recovery goes, it's not super great. It doesn't go too far. It can be hard to stop. Like, the hitboxes on it aren't bad. And again, you do have the risk of that little jank late hit, but... Neutra B? It's bad. Like, okay, the one use of this move is if you do use it on the ledge, it does linger. So you can use this as, like, a lingering hitbox on the ledge. That's, like, the one use for it. But trying to use it in neutral is just, like, not good. It's very slow, very predictable. It'll go the same distance every time. You can turn it around. So if you really want to catch someone off guard, you can turn it around. But otherwise, yeah, it's just a weird move. And lastly, down B. And this is the especially jank move, because if you're on the receiving end, it can be hard to escape of. It like, speaking from personal experience, it can be hard to escape because it feels so like inconsistent. But if you just mash down B, like you can like easily rack up like a good 20-30% with just that. And on top of that, you can like just like get confirms off of it, kind of. Not a great sound. Not a great sign of it. Yeah, I showed turning around with End Special. The way it does work is you do have like that little like wind line along the ground, and the wind pulls them in. But then it also forces a second hit, which is like pushes them forward. So you kind of just like chain them together, and it's very odd. It's very odd. So yeah, a lot of the specials are pretty jank. Dash attack is like the one other haha gotcha move, because that you see that little like sparkle in front of me? That's like a sweet spot. Yeah, that like it does like it makes a little funny sound effect. It's a sweet spot. You gotta like space it for max range. It's very odd, but it does deal more knockback. Not quite as much as it used to, thank God. But yeah. Again, it's just it's hard to land, because even if you're like okay, I'm waiting for it, it's like hitting super late, and it feels like it should be hitting because the animation starts so early, but then like right there it hits. That time it didn't. It feels very inconsistent to use. And if you're trying to go up against it, like again, it's just inconsistent. I think that's a lot of problems that Ash has right now, is that it's just like playing as or against them, it feels very inconsistent. And it's really only a couple moves. Like, it's just the specials and the dash attack. Like, the other moves feel great. You know, the aerials, they're not the best, but I'll give them a pass, because, you know, it's supposed to be like Little Mac. The tilts feel good. The smash attacks feel really good. And the character's really fast. Like, if you want a character that's fast and has like, feels like good ground moves, as well as, you know, usable aerials, like, Ash is definitely worth a try. But you will have to, if you are playing this character, you will have to be ready for some jank to happen, because that's inevitable. But otherwise, that's Ash. Like, a pretty simple character with some pretty unfortunate jank. That's how I'd put it. Next up, a bit more recent of a character, I will say. Let me double check the list. Okay, yeah. So, this is Olympia. Olympia has her own stage, so I will go to that. Where is it? There it is. So this is the third of the Diamonds in the Rough. For those of you who are familiar with the Shoto type characters like Ken, Ryu, Terry, you'll be right at home here. You have your focus attack, your down special. It doesn't work like focus attack in that multi-hits beat it though. It works at it has heavy armor, so a certain amount of knockback will beat it out. But otherwise, it just keeps going. When you're doing the down special, however, there's a couple things you can do. You have a couple options. You have the normal down B, which is just this long, you know, wind up and then the punch that stuns your normal focus attack. However, you can also do the focus attack dash cancel, which is by far your best movement option as this character. You're definitely gonna have to master like when to use this, because as it is, Olympia's pretty slow. The airspeed and dash speed are like not the greatest. However, if you move around with the down B, you know, getting used to the distance it sends you, and stuff like that. Like, that's how you'll be moving around for the most part, is positioning with the down B. Side B you can position with as well. The nice thing about side B is that you can also attack during it, rather. However, it's a little bit harder to control than the down B, I find. or the focus attack dash cancel. Like this is the focus attack dash cancel is definitely your best movement tool. So the way you do the dash cancel is just pressing dodge. Like you press dodge into the side. You don't do the double tap. That's not how it works. The other things you can do out of focus attack is if you press side B, or rather forward B, you'll do this punch, and pressing back in B will do this little kick. I don't think the back kick is very good. I think if you want to like reposition yourself, you can just like do this, but it's an option. The forward and B is it's a good option. It doesn't kill quite as early. In fact, like as you can see, like back then it didn't even like purple at like 170 at the ledge. It's not the strongest, but it sets up for a lot of good stuff. So it's definitely there as an option. And if you want like a quicker hitbox out of down B, this is the way to go. Because otherwise you have this, which is slow, or this, which doesn't even have a hitbox. So that's basically what this is for, is if you want a quick hitbox. Sets them up off stage. Pretty good. Aside from that, I suppose we can talk about this fun thing now. So, this fun little gem field here, when you're in it, it will allow you to cancel certain moves at certain windows. Sorry. The window is, hey, 30 viewers, let's go. The window is different depending on what the move is. Like, as you can see for the Nair here, you can cancel the first hit. For most of the moves, however, it's during the end lag that you can do a cancel. So, but pretty much every move can be canceled except for up special. Up special is the one move you can't cancel. There might be others that I'm forgetting, but yeah. Otherwise, I guess we can talk about up special. It's a very good finisher. Like, the multi-hit racks up a lot of damage, and then it combos into the final hits, which is, like, a very good kill move. The up air, I think, is really cool. I like the way the up air works. The top hit, like, sends upwards, so you can still do the juggles, but the bottom hit spikes. So you can, like, you know, set them up, like, at a different angle, like that. Like, it's sort of like a semi-spike, basically. It's really cool. I like it. Then you also have your down air and your forward air, which also spike. But yeah. Overall, Olympia's a really fun character. You're definitely, like, again, like, because you're slow and you don't have much range, in a similar sense to Palm, you will be playing defensive because of that. Most of your mileage is gonna be making use of this focus attack, because the focus attack is very good. Just being able to armor through so much. And, you know, again, the movement you get out of it. The crystal stuff, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't mention this, but if you press neutral B, inside the field it does this dash, which you can convert out of. Outside of it, it pops it. And that pop is very good, because it stuns the opponent, and you can get a follow-up, like that. And the stun is very long. Like, for what it is, the stun, like, you know, for like a big radius, the stun is incredibly good. However, the crystal can be destroyed. So, you know, it has a little bit of invincibility when you put it up, but once it's up, it can be destroyed. The thing is that since the way the neutral B works, also if you hold it, you destroy it. The way the neutral B works is that you have to shoot it at the opponent, and hitting the opponent is what triggers it. Like, if I just, like, throw it out, it won't do anything. It has to hit the opponent in order to be set up. which means that it's always closer to your opponent starting out, and they'll always have time to break it, basically. That's part of the reason why I don't think the crystal is quite as good, even though that stun is absurd. Like, the stun is crazy. But yeah. It'll definitely have some niche setups. I think Neutral B is at its strongest, like, during a ledge trap. Because good luck getting across that at the ledge. Holy shit, that's huge. Like, you can just set up at ledge, confirm it, and F smash. That's a kill. It's very good. How much stun does the initial hit have? Like, you mean just throwing the crystal? Throwing the crystal has no hit stun. It deals 1 damage, and that's it. Yeah, and if you ever want to remove the crystal, you can hold down B. That does deal extra stun and knockback, but I don't think it's very worth it, because, quite frankly, this is insane, and it's insanely fast. Like, that's so much better. Just do that. But holding the crystal is good if you want to, like, reposition it. I don't find myself using it very much, because I find the opponent breaking it before I have a chance to. But, you know, it's an option. But yeah, otherwise, this is a character with, like, you know, very good damage, very good kill power, and focus attack is incredibly good. So... But that's Olympia. They're a very fun character. Next up, we have a bit of a treat for you guys. So this character isn't released yet. However, a special shout out goes to Marl, who's developing Epinal right now. He's giving me permission to show off the character even though they're in beta. So while this character is very, very close to being finished, you know, like, while this character is very close to being finished, there are going to be some things that aren't final. There are a couple animations that are missing, not many, but yeah, this character's wild, guys. Let me get some blueberries in before I move on. So, probably the first thing you'll notice, especially if you're playing this character, is that their movement's kind of weird. So, first off, you have a very slow initial dash that picks up afterwards. Their walk speed is, like, 2. And the way their aerial movement works is kind of unique. So when Epinal is moving down, they have more airspeed. So if they're rising, they move slower in the air, but if they're falling, they move faster. So it's very, very interesting in that regard. But that's just the movement. In general, they're a very floaty character. And a lot of moves, as you'll see, will, like, cause float. The other interesting thing about Epinal, is the way their normals work. Many of their normals have a sweet spot that causes witch time. And this is known as inertia, basically. Like, it's basically like a Roy sweet spot, basically, where you have to be directly on them. It'll feel a bit weird at first. But, yeah. Inertia's good, because it just allows for more follow-ups, or combo follow-ups. It is kind of niche, because this character has combos outside of it anyway. But, it rewards you for getting, like, a sweet spot that is, again, pretty much on top of Epinal. Like, you have to be on top of Epinal to get the sweet spot. But, otherwise, it'll cause them to, like, just, like, you know, again, do that weird floaty shit. Their up special also causes inertia, which has some very funny effects. But, inertia isn't hit stun, it only locks movement. Yeah. Basically. So, the other thing, or I guess the several things, is the way the aerials work on hit. So, you kind of saw, like, you know, a lot of the aerials will bring you upwards, basically. Forward air doesn't do it. Neutral air will do it on hit, so it'll raise you up on hit, like if I do that. Up air will raise you up. Back air, the way... I love the back air, because if you do the normal tap, it'll do that. However, if you hold the button down, it'll grab them and throw them up, which I think is so cool. I love his back air. It's probably my favorite part. Or probably his favorite move, really. But yeah. So, this character definitely, like, has, like, a bunch of, like, ladder combos and, like, just a bunch of stuff involving their weird movement and their inertia and stuff. And they definitely revolve around the aerials. Don't let the CPU fool you, because they're very DI-able. Like, this is Rivals. Yeah, is strong in this game. But... going into, I guess, the grounded moves, I showed off the forward tilt. The forward tilt has that, the inertia hitbox. That's very good. Up tilt brings you up in the air. The jab combo also brings you up in the air, which I think is really cool. Down tilt can be jump canceled, which I think is a little weird, quite frankly, but whatever, I guess. Sure, why not? And the dash attack is probably my favorite grounded move of his, because it's a fucking suplex. Like, if you put a suplex on a character, it's just a good character. I don't make the rules. Like, I love this. This move's great. It will kill on plats, but it's at higher percents. It's not the greatest kill move. It's just a fucking suplex. I love it. So, another weird thing. This is the thing that I think I've been having the most trouble implementing, because, you have this down B platform. So... yeah, Pratfall does not have an animation. Again, there are some missing animation, guys. This is not the final version of the character. So your down B raises this platform out of the ground. If you hold down B on the platform, you can move it. And you also have a hitbox on releasing. And as the platform breaks, very a la Crag Pillar, it'll send you into Pratfall. If you try using down B on platforms, it won't work. It'll only work on the ground. And if you hold the button down, it'll send out those little spikes. Those spikes have hitboxes, and the platform will be higher. So you can control the height of the platform, basically. So you can set up platforms like this pretty well. As for me personally, I've been having, again, kind of a trouble implementing it, because of how floaty they are and the way that their momentum mechanics work already, they don't really need platforms. But the option's there. But the cool thing about the platforms is how Epinal interacts with it. So, if you press down tilt on the platform, you send out these, like, basically crag shards that will cause inertia. If you side B into the platform, it does the same thing, but sideways, like in that. Oh, I guess I haven't shown off side B yet. If you use it in the air, it's like that. If you use it on the ground, it's like that. And if you hold down, I believe, it'll transition to the sideways version. How does it work? Huh. Isn't it supposed to be transitioning, Marl? I know you're in the chat. I don't know how it works. Tell me. But yeah. The side B, it's pretty interesting how it works. Only if you're already on the ground. Gotcha. Okay. It's pretty interesting how it works because if you pass the opponent, it won't really do that much. You'll want to be spacing it, or timing it rather, so that you like basically like just appear on them and hit them with the hitbox. But this move it's very strong. It kills pretty early. And then lastly, the one I've been saving for last, very much so on purpose, is the down special in the air. Doesn't work as well at 0, huh? Well, that's underwhelming. Come on. There we go. It's basically like a choke slam. The way it works is that they break out of it early. You know, the lower the percent they are. Turn DI off and won't escape the grab. Got it. Thank you. Yeah. Where is it at? None. There we go. It isn't mashing, it's just holding, so you don't have to, like, break your controller in order to do it, but, yeah. Oh, I actually didn't... Okay, it breaks platform. Cool. Yeah, just holding any direction will, allow you to break out earlier. But you can suicide kill with it. If the opponent is holding a direction, it's kinda... You won't be getting the suicide grab until higher percents. But, who dies first? I believe it's Epinal who dies first. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marl. But yeah. Epinal's dies first. It isn't hard-coded that way, though. Oh, no. What a shame. Here's another funny thing you can do with down B, though. If I just get some platforms up here. Alright, let's combo the opponent over this way a bit. Ah, damn it. Alright, well... yeah, basically, if you down B the opponent through another platform... I'll try to show this off better. You can just bounce off of it and deal extra damage. And that will trigger inertia on landing. Which it normally doesn't have. I just think that's awesome. But yeah, like I said, Epinal is wild. They feel pretty good to play. However, they are, again, like, pretty slow, like, starting up. The way their movement works is that, basically, they won't pick up speed until they're already going. So, it's kind of like Eliana in that you do have some good movement, but it takes a while. If that makes sense. Like, especially with the way the initial dash works. Like, this character is slow overall. So I think that's one of their biggest weaknesses, is just how slow they are. They also don't really have much of a projectile game. I mean, you can do this stuff with the platform, but like, even then. However, again, their combos, like, it is Rivals. They are DIable. However, the combos are very notable with this character, and they have some very, very unique stuff to them. And I just can't wait to see how they play. It's gonna be very cool. This character's wild, guys. Like, I just love that. That's so cool. Yeah, anyway. Moving on. So, Targma. Targma is a bit more recent of a character. They definitely remind me a lot of the, you know, the zoners in Rivals. I do think they are strong. I do think Targma is very strong. So the Neutral Bee is this little ball, and now you get to play Lethal League. The ball is like, has a constant hitbox. The opponent can hit it back at you, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, you have a constant hitbox. One thing that I did not know, is that if you press taunt, like, I found this out very recently, but if you press taunt while the ball is out, it'll explode. I did not know this. It's not very, like, I guess, like, conventional, I'd say. I wouldn't expect a taunt to do that, but, I do like that it's there. I wish the way it worked is that if you press Neutral B, it'll blow up, like, just tap Neutral B. If you hold Neutral B, it'll, like, bring it to you. So there is that. But I wish tapping Neutral B blew it up instead of the taunt. That's, like, my one critique. But anyway. But yeah, the ball is sick. Like, I love this ball. This is something that would absolutely fit in Rivals. Their side B is kind of interesting. It's a wall, but it's not a hitbox. Like, you can pass through it, you can walk through it. If Targma attacks it, it gets destroyed. But the opponent doesn't really interact with it. If you hit the Neutral B into the wall, it bounces. So you can do some bank shots. And the wall also interacts with some of Targma's other moves. The down B is kind of crazy. That fireball doesn't look like much, but it does like more knockback than I'd expect. to be blunt. But you can angle it as well, so the fireballs shoot in a different direction. And then it gets even crazier, because if you set up down B and put the side B down, the fireballs get huge. Like, look at that. That's ginormous. And I believe this ups the knockback of the fireballs as well. Up smash. His up smash is the same fireball. So, if you, press up smash through the firewall, it'll also make them big. The one thing about up smash, however, that I think is kind of scary, it's very spammable. It is extremely spammable. Combine this with the down B, and you just have fireballs everywhere. Yeah, cooldown would be nice. And then you have the up B, which also puts down a ball. And you can kind of, like, this is like a quick way to set up the ball. And yeah. Otherwise, the normals are pretty straightforward. The Nair is interesting because it sends in all directions. It has like the Zetaburn Shine angle, where you can spike with it if you hit it from below, but hitting it from above sends up, and hitting it from the side sends to the side, etc., etc. It's very interesting. Forward air is kind of crazy. It's this spike here, has very little hit pause, and is very fast for what it is. But that angle is nasty. So, you know, comboing with it, and especially offstage, good lord, this is going to be a very scary move. Yeah. Down tilt's really cool. So down tilt is like this this lava puddle, and you can see like eventually it just fades away. You can only put down one at a time. It's pretty small, but if you hit the opponent into it, it'll pop them up with a lot of knockback, actually. That's more than I remembered, but I think the down tilt's really cool. But also adds to the chaos that is the ledge trapping. Ledge trapping with this character is insane. Like, I'm just gonna throw that out. With the forward air, and the up smash, and the down B, and the... There's so many things you can do at ledge with this character to just make them be miserable. Like, it's fun, it's very fun for Targma, but oh man, I can't imagine how miserable that would be on the receiving end. Up smash is very interesting. Or, not up smash, up air. It's very fast, very disjointed. You can hold it with the A button, but you can't do it with the C stick. I guess that's another critique, I guess, is that you can't hold it with the C stick. Trying to do the C stick will do the immediate version. But if you press the A button, you can hold it. And I think if you hold it, it does more knockback. But even on its own, this is a very, like, quick, disjointed, strong move. It's very good. Like, this is crazy. And then, yeah. Forward tilt is also really good. It sends it a nasty angle. Like, that's a very low angle. That's like Apsa down tilt angle, basically. For a move that steps forward with a lot of range. Forward tilt's really good. But yeah. I mean, just in general, with all the projectiles that you can set up, it kind of reminds me of Wick, to be honest. But as a heavy. Like, if that makes sense. Because Targma is slow. Targma is definitely one of the slower characters, and if you're off stage, you know, you can recover with up B, but you don't really have a hitbox above you. But yeah, just the zoning options you have overall, it's very cool. This is definitely a character where you will be throwing out a bunch of projectiles, but yeah, just in general, the character's sick. That Nair's interesting. Like, the design concepts are all there. I do think that some stuff could use tweaking, like balance-wise, but I mean, overall, the character's just cool. Like, the design is amazing. Top-notch design. So, props to Targma, they're sick. But anyway, moving on. Alright, Astra. This is another character that I adore. So, Astra is one of those big brain characters. They have this card system. So your first card is the Sun card, You can switch between cards using your Nutribee. The Sun card, with your forward special as the Sun card, it's like this charge shot. Nope, I didn't mean to switch there. And basically it charges up, sends it out. It doesn't do as much knockback as charge shot, but it's very cool. And then the other interesting thing is that if you press down special, oop, not like that. If you press down special, it'll throw out a trap. And you activate it again with down special. It's like a Snake C4. But once you activate it, you have to walk over it to pick it up again. Or you can press neutral special 3 times and pull it in. Like that. But the Sun Trap makes that explosion. It doesn't make the explosion if the opponent isn't in the detection radius. Like, as we see here, like that's the detection radius. If you're not in that radius, the explosion won't come out. So it's sort of like a pseudo multi-hit in that way. But yeah. And then the up special, all the up specials are the same per se, but they act differently depending on which one you have. This one doesn't go very far, but it has an explosion hitbox that deals a lot of damage and more knockback as well. It's not the strongest thing ever, but it's there. So with this one, I believe it's called Stardust, I want to say. With the Stardust card, your forward special becomes this dash. And this dash is very good because, oh, I can turn off hitboxes. That little sparkle that you see at the top is a spike. And that hits platforms. So as you can see, like as Crag gets higher percents, they'll start getting knocked up by it. And you can combo off of that. It does have reduced hit stun, so you don't get true combos. And if you try to spike with it, it won't kill until later percents. But just having it as an approach option is very good. It doesn't do as much without the spike. Like if I just press side B here, or like that, like as you can see, because they don't fall into the spike hitbox, you know, you don't get as much value out of it. However, just having it as an approach option is very nice. But I mean, visually it looks sick. You have to space it. Like if you're playing Astra, it's definitely a move that you're gonna be using in conjunction with forward air to space. Like just to go a little bit outside of your max range, you just do that. It's very good. The down B is this little multi-hit here. And that setups for combos. And then lastly is the Nebula card. And this one's crazy. So the forward special does that. It fires that tiny little ball. And the ball is breakable. But it'll hit the opponent. And the opponent goes into this sort of like... I compare it to Rano Bubble hit stun, in that you can control where you go. But once you get hit out of it, you're just out of it. So, it's very interesting in that regard. And then the trap, I think, is even crazier, because unlike Rano Bubble hit stun, it just holds you in place. So, here's the thing. You can place down multiple traps at once, and you can activate them individually. The trap you activate is depending on the card you have selected. So one of my favorite combos to do is something you might have seen on Twitter already, but if I put a Sun Trap right next to a Nebula Trap, I can activate Nebula Trap, activate Sun Trap, and hit them afterwards. He wasn't DIing, he was DIing up, like a cheater. There we go, like that. So you can do stuff like that, and I think it's super sick. So that's where the quote-unquote big brain aspect comes from this character, is that you have to be managing, like, you know, okay, which card am I going to be using at the right time? Do I want to be, like, having a quick approach? If so, switch on Stardust, use that. Do I want to, like, be hitting them with something that can set up for kill confirm? In which case I can use this. And not miss. Or do I want something that I can just, you know, charge, I have downtime, and then I can use it to set them up to maybe, like, you know, pressure them, try and push them off stage, cover options, with a big hitbox. In which case I have the charge shot. That's the quote-unquote big brain aspect, is that you have to be managing, you know, managing which card is the right card to have at this time. And it'll depend on multiple things. It'll depend on your positioning, it'll be depending on which traps you have out, like if I want to activate a specific trap and then like, wait, actually, there's Nebula's trap right here, I can just do that, bada boom, and combo off of that. So, managing, like, you know, which card you have selected at the right time is very key, to playing Astra. And you can use Neutral B, like, during animations. You can also hold down Neutral B, and you can select this way, a la, like, Shulk Dial, basically. That's another option. I usually just tap. I find it easier. But that's just me. And then another thing you can do is the quick swap, which is a little interesting, but if you hold the button down, like as you do a forward special or an up special, you can swap to a different card. Like, for example, here I press forward special, and then I press up and I swap to Sun. I press forward special, I press down, press down, and now I'm on Nebula. Up is always Sun, down is always Nebula, and Stardust is always the same as the card you're currently on. So, for example, I'm on Nebula right now, so if I press side B and then down, I'll be on Stardust. As for down B, you can do it for down B as well, although it's a little different. You press left for Sun, right for Nebula, and Stardust is the same as the one you're currently on. A little bit complicated. I don't use quick swap nearly as much because Neutral B is just so flexible. However, yeah. Anyway, that stuff aside, because that was a very long explanation. Thankfully, this character outside of the cards is nowhere near as confusing. Their normals are pretty standard, all things considered. I love the Nair. It looks so cool. This is probably, like, my favorite, like, original animation out of the workshop, or just animation in general. Like, I love this Nair. It's so sick. I love the way it just, like, you know, pops out, and, like, the rays come in, and it's like, bah! It's so sick. Like, it looks so cool. Forward air is also really sick. This is a very, very good spacing tool. You can basically just, you know, see it as like a... Why did my music stop? God damn it, YouTube. But, yeah. Like, this is just, like, super good spacing tool. It pops up, leads for combos. That's the other thing about Astra, is that with neutral air and forward air and up air, you have a very good juggle game. As far as killing with this character goes, it's mostly gonna be through your big honkin' smash attacks. Like, these smash attacks are huge. Not as spammable as they once were, thank God. But, you've got that. You've got back air, which can, set them up off stage, which is really nice. And, can also kill as well. And then up air is really good for securing kills. Yeah, it's kind of like Villager Fair, but it pops up. Not killing quite as early because it's Crag, but, you know. The up air is definitely a very good kill move. Down air also spikes. It's a little finicky, because if you don't land the sweet spot, I can show this off in hitboxes, but you can see there's a small center hitbox in the middle there. That center hitbox is what kills. The sour spot, you know, it spikes them down, but it doesn't deal as much hit stun, so it doesn't kill quite as well. But the sweet spot is the way to kill with down air, basically. But yeah, otherwise, like, again, like, you can do the big brain card setup bullcrap and whatever you want, and it is helpful. Like, the cards are definitely good, and you definitely should be using them. However, if you wanna just play it simple, you absolutely can. The normals are great. But yeah, that's pretty much Astra. Very, very cool character. Definitely one of my favorites, and I probably will be playing them at Genesis. But I have like 4 characters I'm planning on playing at Genesis, so that's fun. Anyway. Moving on. Mr. Acid Rainbows. So this is our first character on the list that does not have a check mark next to them. So it's not 100% confirmed that Acid Rainbows will be at Genesis. However, pretty likely, so that's why I'm showing them off. Well. Oh crap, one thing I completely drank about this. I'm sorry. I totally would forget to show something off on this character, but some people don't know this, but the height, the distance you travel with up B changes depending on which card you have selected. So Sun card doesn't go very far, but has the best hitbox. Stardust goes kind of an in-between. It has a hitbox when it appears, but goes like middle distance, and then the Nebula card goes the furthest, but doesn't have a hitbox when it appears. All of the cards have a hitbox when they throw it out, though, so it is hard to contest. Anyway, sorry, completely forgot that. Acid Rainbows. Taking a break from the big brain shit, Acid is pretty simple. They're very fast. Like this character moving around with them is like they're a speedy. They're a speedy boy. And all of their normals are pretty solid. Forward air is crazy good. It's kind of like a disjointed falcon knee. Basically, the angle on it is nasty if you land the sweet spot, so this forward air can kill very early. I'm not very good at it, especially against CPUs. But, yeah. Otherwise, you know, their one gimmick is this cloud. The cloud, if you're, standing underneath it, it'll deal damage over time. I don't think the damage over time is very good. It's, like, it racks up if you keep them in it, but it's such a small area, so it's kind of hard to. And if you're just moving through it, you won't take any damage. So, it's kind of negligible, doesn't deal any hit stun, kind of just is there. But the nice thing about Cloud is that if you use your handy-dandy down special here, it'll go with it. By the way, this down special is really good. It's like a Pikachu Thunder, but instead of sending up, it sends to the side. And it's very strong. Like, off stage, this is a scary option. It does stop on platforms, so you are safe if you're under a platform. This is a horrible stage to demonstrate this character on, I'm just realizing. But we'll make it work. But yeah, the down B is really good. The other thing is that you can kind of like prime the down B. So I can hit it with aerials. And as you can see, it's like kind of sparkling right now, right? If I press down B, it activates faster. That's sort of like one thing that you can do with it. Pretty much any of your aerials can hit the cloud. Hitting it 3 times with any move besides Nair will trigger the down B. So you can just use it on its own. Or you can hit it with, oh yeah, just 3 forward airs, like that. So you can, there we go, like that. You can kind of just send the hitbox at them. But I think, you know, overall this character is very simple. The one crazy thing they have, aside from, you know, the down B, is their side B. I think their side B is incredibly powerful. Like, easily the strongest thing about this character. It's a movement tool. It, gives you, super armor, like full super armor, basically immediately, and it has very little end lag. Like, this move is very good. It does have a cooldown on it, but, yeah, it's, side B's nuts. If you're playing against an Acid Rainbows, you have to be ready to be playing around the side B. The thing about side B is that the timing on it and the distance on it won't change, so it'll always be the same move every time. So because of that, you kind of want to be spacing yourself, you know, around side B distance. Like, if I'm going to be recovering with side B, I want to be standing here with an F smash, basically, to hit you out of it immediately. But, yeah. Otherwise, the character's pretty simple. They're very fast. And their side B's crazy, down B's crazy. But otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. I think the character's very fundamental based. So it just comes down to how good you are. If you're good at the game, you'll be good with Acid Rainbows. That's basically how I'd put it. But yeah. That's pretty much it. Alright, Valkyrie time. This is another character that I very much so like. And one of my planned mains for workshop bracket. So Valkyrie is the large medium. Valkyrie is definitely the large medium. Look at this large lad. Is forward air still nauseatingly strong? I don't know, you tell me. Large lass, I apologize. But yeah, hitboxes are big. Like, all of her aerials, all of her tilts, all of the strong attacks, they cover up a ton of space. You do have the Joker drag down up air. Like, it is just a drag down. If you do it normally, it'll just like be, you know, act as normal. But if you fast fall, it'll bring them down. The upper is kind of crazy. You can do some nasty stuff with the up air. Forward air is kind of like the weird one of the group because if you don't get the sweet spot, it's not the best. But if you do get the sweet spot, holy shit, you got the sweet spot. Yeah, forward air is kind of nuts. The angle on it is nasty, so if you're not ready for it, you're gonna be in for a rough time. It's kind of hard to DI, and yeah, it's very strong. Yeah, don't take the kill percents here for as law. That's just the CPU not DIing. moving on to the specials is where this character gets a little bit more complicated, because, I mean, as is, it's a pretty standard heavyweight. Very big. Lots of big hitboxes. Good amount of kill power, good amount of damage. Very satisfying combo game. But, the specials is where it gets interesting. So, I'm gonna show off the neutral special first. So, putting it down, you have these little, like, cross symbols. And cross symbols, if I can show this off, will heal me. You heal 6 damage. Which is, pretty respectable. And then you also have this funny side B here, which is very similar to like a Belmont cross. And that will also put an effect on the opponent. This is the skull symbol. Skull symbol means that, if I hit them with an axe, it'll deal double damage. This means, like, if I hit him with any of my smash attacks, or my down air, it'll, yeah, it'll deal double damage. Down special just puts on the healing effect. It's a pretty simple move. It puts on the opposite of what your cross is currently. It is extra knockback because it deals double damage. The two are kind of both the same thing, basically. Like, see, let's take off all the damage here. Normally, if I hit the opponent with up smash, it does 12. If I hit them with the mark, it should do 24. Yep. So, yeah, mark is insane. And then, here's the fun part. If I put the totem out, and I hit it with the cross, it changes. So now the totem has the double damage effect, and the cross has the healing effect. So, yeah, you can kind of just have both, which is really good. Can someone repost the list? And again, down B is always the opposite of what your cross is. It's always the same as the totem. The totem is the opposite of the cross. So, totem and down B are the same. The cross is always different. Think of it like that. Here's a very fun part. If I stand over the totem, as you can see, there are 2 skulls here. So, you can double up on effects. That up smash just did 36. It's, it gets kind of crazy. So, for another example, if I put the healing effect on... Oh, I forgot that destroys totem. If I put the healing effect on Ori here, I can up smash over them and heal for 12 instead of 6. Now keep in mind, this is healing on a heavy, which is kind of scary. As far as, like, which mark is better, healing or double damage, I think it's about the same. You can kind of use whatever feels right in the moment. Obviously, if you're at 0%, you won't want healing. But if you're at higher percent, you will want healing. And if the opponents want at higher percent, you might want to kill them earlier. Or you just might want to deal more damage to them. Either way. It kind of just depends on what the situation is. There isn't really ever a right answer. And honestly, all the effects are good. So... But yeah. Anyway, that's getting into all the marks and effects and stuff. I haven't talked about up special at all. On its own, it's pretty simple. It's like a fast dash. You can angle it. You can do circles. It's interesting. However, if you up B into the totem, you can cancel it. If you up B into cross, you can cancel it. And if you up B into a mark, you can cancel it. So if you up B into Totem, Cross, or Mark, you can cancel it into any other attack. It's only attacks. You can use specials. You can use strong attacks. You can use tilts. Or you can use aerials. Or wait, can you also double jump? Yeah, you can also double jump. The reason why I don't... I didn't even think of this, but the reason why I don't like doing this is because it takes away resources and kind of stops your momentum. Double jump isn't as bad, but like compare that to this. Like, you get a lot more momentum, which I really like. Bear is usually what I cancel with if I'm just trying to go for any cancel. But you can also do up special into another up special. The thing about the cancels is that you can only cancel off of each once per airtime. So for example, if I were to cancel off this and put... whoop, I messed that up. If I were to cancel off of this, put down another totem and try to cancel, it won't work. I can cancel multiple times if I try to use a cross, or if I try to cancel off of a mark. But you can't use the same thing multiple times in a row. You can only use each once. Oh, mark cancels are infinite. I didn't know that. But, yeah. So, with your up B cancels, like, this adds a layer of movement to the character that they wouldn't have otherwise. So that, on top of what are already really good normals, and on top of the mark effects, which are just crazy, this character is very strong. I think this character is very strong. But, I also think they're very fun. And that's why I main them. Like, just their combo game in general. Like, this is definitely going to be a hype character. Because the combo game with this character, and all the up B cancels you can do, it's just sick. Like, this character's sick. I love him. Anyway. That about does it for Valkyrie. Yeah, they are super hype. Okay, actually, I can show this off. One of my favorite things to do with Valkyrie, especially if I have, like, the healing effect. Hey, thanks for the follow, Ruckus. Especially if I have the healing effect on them, the cross. I like to do down air and combo that into the cross. It's easier to do at mid percents, but something like that. And that kind of just, like, you know, uses up the effect, but also keeps it going. That's one of my favorite things to do. Hey, thanks for the follow, Anguish. So just resetting it with downer. That's something that I love to do. But anyway. Next character. This character is not 100% confirmed, so again, if this isn't at Genesis, then I'm showing this off for nothing. But I think the character's cool. Anywho. So, Liz. Very similar to a Spacey. You do have Shine. Shine can only be jump canceled on hit. Or on the meter mechanic. So I can explain what this meter does. It's sort of like a rhythm meter, basically. So if you can hear the notes that are playing, like whenever I time it, basically you want to time it to when the meter fills up and you see the square on the left fill up. If you input any attack during that time, you can get a note on your octave. And if you hit an up air or hit any aerial when you have an octave, it'll deal extra knockback. I believe the neutral special also deals extra knockback. So the way the meter comes up is by hitting the opponent. So you hit the opponent and then you can charge it. So just timing your attacks. And this is the one time where I will say that Shine is actually well designed. Because Shine is perfect for just charging up meter. And the fact that you can only jump cancel it outside of hitting the opponent if you're like timing it for rhythm is sick. So it's a very non-committal way to charge up your octaves. Like, Shine is legitimately well designed, and that's not something I think I would ever... I'd never expect to say that. Otherwise, they're a pretty straightforward character. Again, they're kind of like a Spacey. Their specials are interesting. This is side special. Which kind of just, like, pops the opponent up for a combo. You do have Claire and F smash for some reason. You also have a very big up smash and Fox down smash. And then your neutral special, this like projectile basically. That's the octave knockback, but otherwise they just deal knockback. It's kind of spammable, but otherwise it's cool. And yeah, I mean, they're pretty straightforward. It's one of those more simple characters, but I really like the way their rhythm mechanic works. And the fact that, like, it implements Shine well is mind-boggling to me. Alright, yeah, it is way scarier than Claire F Strong, but you guys get what I mean. Their up special is the one thing I don't like. It's like kind of just a slow multi-hit. It can bring the opponent up, but it's very easy to just DI out and get away. And it's also just kind of slow. It doesn't go into free fall. You can cancel it with air dodge, but I don't think you can jump cancel it. No, you can't jump cancel it. But yeah, I don't like their up special. That's the one thing I don't like. But otherwise, I think this character is really sick. But yeah, like, just the way the rhythm mechanic is implemented is by far the best rhythm mechanic I've ever seen in a fighting game. Like, rhythm mechanics don't really work too well, for the most part, because you're just telegraphing your own moves. This works. This works. Yeah, if you get an octave, your aerials and your neutral special have more knockback. Not your smash attacks for some reason, which I think is a little weird. Like, if I try to hit him with an up smash, that just does normal knockback. But if I hit him with a forward air, that does extra knockback. It's a little weird. I think the smash attacks should deal extra knockback, personally. It might be busted, but I don't care. It would be fun. But anyway, that's Liz. Liz is really, really cool. I hope they're legal. Did stream freeze? Hold up. What? Forward air killed your stream, had to refresh. Yikes. Okay, good now? Are we good? Sorry about that, guys. Anyway. Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo's sick. And they are confirmed legal, since they got permission from the animator. This technically is not an OC, but we have permission. So, what I really like about Yo-Yo is that, you have a lot of, like, long-range options. Like, you use your Yo-Yo for long-range options, but all of your combo game is, like, very close range. This character is absolutely built around combos. Combos is the name of the game with this character. Their side B, again, a long-range option, but it pulls them in, which I think is really cool. Back air, you can do drag downs with it, which again, another long range option that keeps the opponent close. All their entire combo game is entirely based around keeping them close, to hit them with, like, you know, simple confirms and tech chases. Like that's Yo-Yo. He's trying to build up combos using tech chases and such. Like it's really sick. Like there's not I can't really compare it to another character's combo game. It just feels very satisfying to do. But as for how the combo meter works, so as you can see, you build it up just by hitting the opponent, hence why it's a combo. And if you don't hit it, after a while it just goes away. If you do have combo 5, which is the maximum, your smash attacks will deal extra knockback. Like that. And your back air will also deal extra knockback. Oh, well, that wasn't the extra knockback, but it killed anyway, because the CPUs suck. Trying to kill outside of this combo meter is hard. In fact, borderline impossible. But the combo, when you get it built up, is strong. So, Yo-Yo's definitely a very skill-based character, because you're gonna have your combos down. Otherwise, you know, if you don't have your combos and your confirms down, it's gonna be rough. But if you do get it down, oh, that's when it gets crazy. Like, this is definitely a more top-heavy character. Like, the good players will be very good with this character, and the bad players will be very bad with this character. That's kind of just how it's gonna go. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, this character's just so cool. As far as their weaknesses go, Charge Neutral B also uses meter. I did not know that. Is that new? Or was that always there and I'm just dumb? Neutral B, if you press dodge towards the end, you can hold the charge, basically. It's always used meter. Alright, well, I'm just dumb. You can, like, hold the charge, let it rip. Like that. It's pretty simple. Just a long-range option that hits them away. It's not as strong as the smash attacks, but yeah. As far as just their general weaknesses go, Yo-Yo's pretty light, and they're not the smallest character around. Like, it's about the size of Forsburn here, a little bit taller, I'd say. But so they're light, fairly big, and recovering is a little bit scary. You can do an action after up B. But up B has a timer that will, like, force free fall after a while. So you're either buffering an aerial and then going into free fall, or you're just going into free fall. If you do the not super version, you won't go into free fall, but yeah, otherwise, recovery, a little bit of a weaker point. You still have a lot of options, but this is definitely a more glass cannon-y character. Which is good. Fire Icy is going. Fire Icy and Slime Puffin, sorry. Ugh. I almost messed up. Slime Puffin will be going to Genesis. Oh yeah, you can also side B tether. Not many people know this, even though it is kind of awkward to do. You have to angle up, and then like right next to the ledge, and then do that, and that will do the tether. Which is another recovery option, I suppose. Does the tether use stage Jedi? Yes, yes it does. So it won't work on custom stages. But anyway. That's it for Yo-Yo. Hime, recently got a really big rework. And after the rework, Hime has quickly become one of my favorites. Before I thought they were kind of like gimmicky and their kit didn't synergize that well. But new Hime fucks. I'm gonna leave it at that. New Hime fucks. Big change is the, this new uppy is nuts. It's sort of like a grappling arrow. You can jump out of it. You can, hit to the opponent. Hit the opponent with it. You also have a new downer, so Sandbert Dare is dead. It's kind of like a Force Dare, that you have a front hit, but you also have a back hit. But it also spikes. It's, but yeah. It's fun. Neutral Air is now like a Lucas there. And I think this move is actually insanely good. Because, like, look at that. Like, combined with hit falling, it's scary. Forward air is the same. Back air is also different, not quite as crazy, but it's kind of like a, I guess, a banjo back air, you could say. Doesn't have quite as much knockback, but it's still solid. But yeah, like just with changing those few moves, like this kit synergizes so well with one another. You still have Bomb Arrow, which is really cool. The Bomb Arrow gets sent off depending on which side they're on. Which means you can get some pipe shit out of it if you're good. I'm not, apparently. Oh yeah, and they got a new dash attack. This little roll thing. You can cancel it early by pressing attack. And you can also turn around with it. Starts up combos. Does some knockback. It's pretty nice. But yeah. After the buffs, I say buffs because it is a lot of buffs, but also after the rework, I should be saying, Hime is a lot scarier now, and for a more, a reason besides down smash, because spoiler alert, this doesn't always spike now. it will send you up if you don't hit a very specific hitbox right there, like right at the bottom towards Hime. Down strong is no longer absurd anymore. So Hime is now scary for the right reasons, I'd say. Because it's a lot of, like, her short hop is tiny. Like, look at this short hop. It goes nowhere. But it's implemented into the kit really well because of how her aerials work. But yeah, like, because you can just throw out quick disjointed aerials, and you're still relatively fast as Hime, like, not super fast, but you definitely got some movement options. Yeah, new Hime is really cool. To show off the rest of their kit, because I mostly just wanted to show off the changes, but to show off the rest of the kit, your down B is interesting. It ups the damage on your arrows by a little bit, but you can use 2 arrows and then it disappears. Or alternatively, it ups the knockback on F strong. It's not super noticeable, in my opinion, just because these moves are good on their own, but, still. Omnidirectional Ronotung. Yeah, it gets nuts. I am a little worried that it will be like circle campy, but yeah. Otherwise, that's Hime. I mean, they've got some really cool stuff, but they're not super hard to figure out. Take some time, play with them yourself. She's super fun. Easily one of the most fun characters on the workshop right now, in my opinion. The grapple will take some getting used to, especially recovering with it, because if you miss the stage, you don't get uppy back, and then you have to wall jump. But you can tether to platforms, the main stage, or the opponent. And hitting the opponent will give you another up special. Like, for example, so you don't just get, like, fucking nest gimps, basically. Man, these platforms are not making this easy to do. Okay, there we go. Yeah, like that. But anyway, if the Hime is trying to, like, circle camp with this, basically, I mean, the up special has a 30 frame startup. Just try and hit them before they start doing this. That's about the best advice I can give. It is really strong. But yeah. That is Hime. Next up, Rue. Alright, all the characters I'm about to show off from here on out are gonna be not 100% confirmed. So just so you guys know, all these characters are not 100% confirmed. So if these characters aren't a Genesis, don't blame me. So Rue is interesting. A lot of this character is definitely like has the reputation for being like, you know, the weird character. They've gotten a lot of changes. I did show Acid Rainbows, yeah. They've gotten a lot of changes to make them more intuitive to play and play against. They're still weird. I don't think that's ever not gonna be. They're not ever gonna not be weird. But I do think they're a lot more intuitive now. Yeah. Like, it's especially noticeable playing against it. As for me personally, because I'm not a Rue player. But playing as it, like, especially compared to before, the changes are definitely very good. So, the way it works, basically you have this, this charge meter. You can use your double jumps for 1 charge. Touching the ground will automatically give you 1 charge, but it won't give you any more. You can get more charges by hitting the opponent, which gives you charges. You can also get charges by hitting your own star, which allows for some pretty funny shenanigans. Your double jumps do have decay, so after a while you will start getting less height off your double jumps, so you can't just, you know, stall infinitely. Yeah. That's the way the double jumps work. You do technically have infinite double jumps, but the double jumps are limited by the meter, and eventually they do decay. So you can't just you can't be pressing too many double jumps, actually. Coded to be 99, basically infinite. Anyway, side B. Side B puts out the star. Once the star makes contact with the opponent, it goes on that cooldown. As you can see, like, it's kind of grayed out right now. Hitting the star reactivates it, and I can hit the star into the opponent for combos and such. I can also teleport to the star with Uppy, which I had to do right there. If you ever feel like your star is in an awkward position, like right now, just press side B again, you'll throw it out. And pressing side B will always activate the star. If the opponent can also hit the star, and hitting the star will turn it off. But you can always just hit it again to turn it back on. As far as their normals go, a lot of them are actually pretty simple now. Down tilt, up tilt, forward tilt, all pretty standard. Forward tilt has a nasty angle. Your jab is single hit, so you can use it for combos. It's really good with the star, especially. Nair is a bit of an interesting one, because it turns you around. Very fast, pretty low end lag, and it also pulls the opponent inward, like that, which means that you can also throw the star around. That was weird. You can kind of throw the star around like that. So you kind of get like this Raster Dare effect of, you know, mixing up the eye by pulling them inward. Forward air, pretty simple. It has a sweet spot towards the bottom. That's pretty strong. Up air is very strong. If you land the sweet spot, like on the where the jets come out, that's a kill move. You do need the meter for it, but you'll usually have it in my experience. So there isn't a super heavy amount of resource management with this character. You did miss Hime Flux. I'm sorry, Sokka. Downer's weird. I don't like Downer. It's kind of bad. It just pushes them away. And then back air is pretty simple. Just props them up. Not much knockback, but it's a great combo move. Confirms well into up air. Dash attack is interesting. You can't Dacus with it, but you can dash attack up smash like that. Also, this is up smash. So yes, you can do a sliding up smash like that. You also have a forward smash here, which is very interesting and very funny if you use it off the ledge, because you just like rock it off. But you can actually slide off the ledge with all the strong attacks, I'm pretty sure. Like if I do a dash attack up smash, yeah, like that. You can get some crazy shit like that, and then die. Down strong, actually, oh right, it's this. Down strong just moves you backwards. So you can just like move backwards with it. You can combine it with a moonwalk for more momentum, which I think is sick.
You're done?
But yeah, like down strong just moves you backwards. It's funny. I love it. And then the down B wall, certain projectiles can bounce off of it. And if you use certain movement options on it, like I think if I down smash here, it'll... No, it does not. Does dash attack bounce? No. Forward smash. Alright, well I'm just wrong. But certain projectiles can bounce off the wall. Moves don't bounce anymore. Got it. But yeah. I mean, honestly, if you didn't like Rue before, all I'll say is give them a shot now. Because a lot of the normals are made to feel, you know, better. This character will always be wacky. I don't think that's never not going to be the case. That's kind of the appeal of the character. But, oh yeah, Neutral Special. Neutral Special reverses your momentum. So if you fast fall Neutral Special, you get like a bunch of height like that. It uses up one charge to do. One of my favorite things to do is like do a sliding F strong off stage and then bounce back with Neutral Special. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, like, just in general, if you're trying to play this character, they have more, like, you know, reasonable options that make sense, quite frankly. Their aerials are all very good. Like, all of their moves are just fantastic, and they feel great to use. I think Star, on its own, is really cool, and fun to use. And there will always be the wacky movement shit, which I think is the hardest part to understand, personally. Like, I still don't really know how to use Neutral Special, I'll be honest. But yeah, Rue's cool. I mean, Rue is really sick, and they're a lot more intuitive than they were in the past. So, all I can really say is, just give them a shot. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but there will always be people who will.
Y'all done?
Hey, thanks for the follow, Bumble. And how you doing, Thronor? Good to see you. Alright. Bluey I'm not going to spend too much time on. They're pretty standard, all things considered. This character does not have a lot to them. They have this side B Gordo that's really strong. A lot of their moves are just very fast disjoints. You can also hold neutral B. This is like a charge. And then that will increase the knockback on some wand moves like down tilt and back air get more knockback. You can fire off a charge shot with neutral B. That does Clarence stun because of course it does. It's Workshop. You can... Oh, not enough charge. You can power up the Gordo. But, yeah, I mean, overall, this character's very simple. Up smash is absurd. Like, look at this. This is huge. It doesn't do much knockback, but then you remember, wait a minute, this is a move that uses the wand. Ah, yes, now it does knockback. Like, up smash is way too good. The hitboxes aren't quite as big as the visual, but even then, they're so disjointed that you can't really easily contest it. Like, there's no way to contest that up smash. That is, bar none, the best anti-air I've ever seen. But I mean, yeah. This character's simple. I do think they're cool, and I see the appeal of them. But I would put in other characters over them. This character, again, not confirmed. That's just my opinion, though. I think they're fairly basic, and don't really have a whole lot to them. But I get why people find them fun. Because sometimes you just want a simple character, so... Yeah. Bluey's something. Oh boy. Alright, here we go. Oh. Alright. So, we talked about wild characters that break a lot of rules. Alright. So, first things first. Air dodging. This character does not have a normal air dodge. Instead, you actually have an air dash. It still has iframes. So, you still do go invincible, but you have an invincible air dash. Which is incredibly good. Otherwise, you have very quick moves that are very disjointed, very hard to get in on. Up special is crazy because it's just like you can honestly just up special at people if you really wanted to. This is an absurd approach tool that's really hard to stop because it's a giant sword. Like, just in general, like, this character's threat zone is crazy. Like, this is even before... We haven't even touched the, we haven't even gotten to the half of it yet, but, like... You can cover, like, he's all the way over there. And then I hit him. Like, within 15 frames. You have to play so far back against Zeta that, like, you know, if you want to be safe, that it's just, like, it's crazy. It's so crazy. Like, this character's insanely fast. As far as other movement tools go, this is a funny down air. You can ledge cancel that. So if you're on a stage of platforms... Oh, man. Like, I'm already going all the way across FD with just up B and down air. Like, that's insane! Up tilt. Very strong. Reminds me a lot of Snake up tilt, which is a scary thing to say. Now let's get into the specials. So, Neutral Special's a fun move. You have this, giant, big hitbox in front of you. If you do it right, you can cancel your jab into a neutral special, and I'm pretty sure this kills. No, it doesn't. Okay, they changed that. But yeah, very disjointed hitbox. That's just, like, very, like, hard to contest. And you can cancel other moves into it, which automatically does the empowered version. So the charging is, like, completely invalidated at that point. Side B is interesting. It puts out this clone. And if a Raster Buddy here were to touch the clone... Oh god, well, I guess I accidentally showed that off. You teleport to them. So, if you time it perfectly, you get this, like, giant sphere of clones. They definitely toned it down a lot. I don't think it's nearly as bad anymore, but it's still, like, a bunch of clones that spawn immediately. Like, you can't react to it. And it's over a ton of space. Like, yeah. It's just insane. Other things that are insane about this character. Let's see how early this up smash kills Raster. Like, they're probably in kill percent right now, but let's try to see if it kills at 50. Okay, wow, I'm surprised. Barely, though. But at 60, they're just dead. Yeah. Let's see, optimal DI. I mean, I don't even think this is gonna help, because, yeah, it'll just touch the side blast zone. I mean, visually, this is, like, so sick. Like, I want to reiterate, because I don't want to seem like I'm hating too much, because Zeta is so sick. Like, I love this character's design. I think they're very cool. I also think they break a lot of Rivals rules with very little, like, I guess, like, downsides, you know, if that makes sense. Because, like, you have an invincible air dash, whatever the heck all this movement is, giant hitboxes, like, cancels, crazy kill power, insane stage coverage, Like, it's so many things at once. You know what it feels like? It feels like you're at, like, the end of, like, a Megalovania, or, what the hell? Metroidvania. Good lord, kill me. Yeah, feels like an endgame Metroidvania character, exactly. Sans. God damn it, what have I done? But yeah, it's just, this character's, it's so much at once. It's so much at once. Like, the character's cool, I love them, but it's definitely one of those characters that I would only play in, like, just friendlies with someone if I'm messing around. I love the character, I think they're sick, I think they're super fun to play. And, yeah. That's about where I leave it. Because you have a lot of crazy strong moves. I can set the DI back to normal. There we go. Up air has, like, a late hit that's really strong. It's kind of weird, though. Let's see if I can get it. I thought I got there for sure. Come on. There we go. It's easier to hit it if they're behind you. But anyway, yeah, up air late hit is very good. Back air has a nasty angle. I don't know what the heck this back air is, but good lord. Get it to air dodge and back by. They actually removed that. If you air dodge and double jump, you don't get the air dodge back. However, you can still get it back after wall jumping. So, yeah, that part was changed. But, yeah. I mean, even then, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. This character is, it's a bit much, I think. So, yeah, recovery is not awful. You see how much horizontal distance this up B covers? Like, here's the thing. Unless you're getting hit by a spike. Like, unless you're getting hit by a spike, you will always be able to make it back to stage because you'll always be above the ledge. And good luck hitting Zeta with a spike when they're moving this fast and has an invincible air dash. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would not say the recovery is bad at all. Oh yeah, that's a fun option. You can do side B from ledge. But yeah. Yeah, exactly, Shen. Exactly. So yeah, I want to reiterate, Zeta, cool as fuck. I love this character. Like, I think they're super fun to play. But not every character has to be in a tournament. So. Oh boy, it's time. We're reaching the end here, folks. Alrighty, I hope, if you guys have not seen Bird Guy at all, I want you to mentally prepare right now. Alright? I hope you're mentally prepared. They actually toned down the volume of that up special. It used to be way louder. Those eggs used to be way louder. God bless. Alright. So, for those who are not familiar with Bird Guy, who is a totally original character, by the way, he is toned down compared to his counterpart, which he completely despises and is unrelated to in every way. Up air does still have the sweet spot. Yeah, I don't like the sound effects on back air. Back air feels weird. Like, why does it play raster claps on back air? That just feels weird. But anyway, this character has very good normals, very big hitboxes, just in general. The aerials are very strong. They're good at comboing. And as you might have noticed, this character has a meter. It's sort of like a snowball mechanic, basically. Whereas, like, if Arkin has a 50% lead on the opponent, his attacks will deal more damage. But if the opponent has a 50% lead on Arkin, then his attacks deal less damage. So, sort of a snowball mechanic. I honestly don't notice it too much in-game, because the moves are still doing the same thing, just with more or less damage. So, I don't notice it that much. Oh god! Oh fuck! I messed up big time. Bird Guy, hello. Please forgive me. Listen, we can talk about this, alright? I'm sorry, dude. No. I didn't mean it. Please, have mercy. Oh god. So, another interesting mechanic that is a bit controversial. I'm gonna make the opponent beat me up here a little bit. Hello, please attack me. That's probably good enough. You can see the debuff right now. Like, if I were to attack them, they would deal less damage right now. Alright. Now, oh, I can't unpause, because that'll reset damage. Alright, let me... Come on. There we go. So, that downbeat just set the opponent's percent to my percent. But as you can see, it's counting down. And eventually it'll count down to 0. To where, or yeah, count down to the percent they were at before. So they were at 3% before getting hit. So which is why they're at 3 now. So, if I just try this again. Oh, hey, stop it. There we go. So yeah. In this state, it's just like, it's a matter of like, okay, can I land a kill move? Which again, this is toned down kill power in comparison. So, yeah. It's a little gimmicky, I will say, but it works. Otherwise, they have, Yoshi eggs, basically. They can throw it in multiple angles, they bounce. They do not spike. That's a key difference. They, only send upwards. Or, I don't know if they send sideways or upwards. It's hard to tell if it's certain DI. But, yeah. Much weaker compared to He Who Shall Not Be Named. Neutral B is a weird one. So, if you press Neutral B while an egg is out, it'll, like, stop in midair. And you can land on it. Which means you can technically use this for recovery. This will restore your double jumps, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah. It's pretty tough to use, in my opinion. One funny thing that you can do with it is just, like, spam it, and it'll just, like... Oh, hey, apps would be nice. You can just spam it like that. That's one thing you can do. It doesn't deal very much damage, it's not that good, but it's just funny. But, yeah. Really, the big thing about Arkin is the zoning. Like, you're gonna be wanting to manage your big aerials, and your big hitboxes overall, combined with the eggs. Because you can cover a lot of space at once. Oh yeah. Side B is interesting. It does like a little like dash through. I love the animation on that. I think it looks super sick. But you can angle it as well, so it's good for recovery. This is like basically what puts you into free fall instead of your up special. Uh-oh. Did I say it? I didn't even realize. God damn it. Please forgive me. No! Alright, I'm pretty sure Bird Guy's gonna kill me after the stream, so goodbye everyone. But anyway. Yeah, otherwise, they're a really cool character. I love the way their combo game works with their aerials. It's definitely a lot more balanced now. And I'd be happy with this character in tournaments. Happy for sure. We can all praise our new bird overlords. Oh yeah, he also has a round of super jump. I forgot about that. I don't know why I forgot about that. It's very good. You don't have very much drift at all. Like, hardly any, actually. But it gives you height. I hate you, Ebsa. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Now we can leave. Do a down special while you're buffed? Oh, okay. Sure. I didn't realize it did something. That fucking... God. Whoa, what? Whoa! That's different. I didn't know about that. Yeah, okay, that's pretty decent, actually. Good to know. Alright. We're at the home stretch. The last character that was just recently added to Dan's list, actually. Which I'm surprised, because they're not an OC. I believe they're from an Undertale fan game. But, good old Clover. Now, yeah. Good old Clover. 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 Yeah, so, if you didn't understand my original impression, I think Clover's a very good character. Let's talk about Up B. So, his Up B has 17 frames of startup, and you can act out of it instantly. Like, literally frame 1. Like, if I am, trying to buffer Nair. Alright, so I teleport, holding Nair now, and it comes out immediately. So you have 0 end lag on your Up B. Basically, if Orcane's the free recovery, this is the free recovery. Because you can very easily just teleport immediately and put down another Up B. Like, Up B is very non-committal to put out because you have this little hop. And because of this hop, it gives you movement out of Up B. Which means it's very easy to just set it up. And you can also do this, by the way. This is a zoning option. Doesn't this look fun, guys? It's fun for me, not fun for any of you. Because I don't want to knock... I don't want to say that Clover isn't fun. This is definitely one of the more enjoyable characters, in my opinion. But they're pretty dumb. Up air has a bit of a late hit to it. But it's much more consistent than, than the Zeta up air for sure. Because all you really have to do is just time the up air right. Like, just do it early and it'll work. On top of that, the move is just very active in general. Like, up air is crazy. Down air is also insane because it's a sandbridge air on an even faster move. And like, it looks small, right? Like, that doesn't look very big. No, it's got range. Like, down air is crazy. Forward air is actually pretty good. It's hard to confirm into, but it has some nasty angles. Like, that's the sour spot. The sweet spot is basically the same as Clover F Smash. Like, that's the sweet spot. But on top of that, it does, like, give you a little hop, which means you can use it as a movement tool, and also as a recovery tool. Like, you can use forward air to get back to stage, and you can even use it while moving backwards. Like, forward air is cool. I like forward air, actually. Aside from the angles. The angles are disgusting. But otherwise, forward air is cool. God, that's gross. Yeah. Neutral air. What frame does neutral air come out on? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, frame 5. Big hitbox around Clover. Very consistent combos. And, well, if you didn't catch the fun combo I did before... I mean, on its own, it's fine. But with everything else, it stacks up. Like, even if I just land with it. Up smash is also good. It's very big. Kind of like down air, but upwards. It doesn't have very much knockback, but you can combo with it. Like that. And you can also do a Dacus, which is pretty good. Like, up smash combos into itself at low %. And if they DI away, it combos into Dacus. Down smash is shit. Don't use it. As far as her special goes, we explained how this is crazy, right? Like, this is crazy. Like, up special in general is just non-committal, and so is the down B. Like, you can just cover options in general. Side B is also really good. It has a bit of a finicky hitbox, but basically you want to be aiming like where the tip of, where the lasso is, basically. Like around the area where the lasso is, like where it would actually pull them in. That's where you want to hit. And that sends up and that combos. But yeah, side B is really good. Takes a little bit of skill, but it allows for options at a range that Clover normally doesn't have, which is really good. Neutral B, kind of garbage. I guess you can use it if they're off stage and you got nothing better to do, but like, you usually have better things to do. Like, this. Just do this. So, here's the thing. Like, Clover in general just has a lot of value whenever he hits you. It's very easy to just die to Clover, like, at random. The uppy, like, you pretty much always have to have it out, because without it, your recovery is pretty bad. But that's the thing. Just have it out. It's not hard to do. And, like, once you have it out, you already have an unpunishable recovery. Like, just use it up, and if you use it again. Just always have uppy out. Like, that's just something you have to teach yourself to do. That's not, like, making the character bad. That's just you being bad. So I don't think that's really, like, a weakness of the character. And I think they easily have the strongest recovery in the workshop right now. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about down tilt, but down tilt's crazy too, because it's just like a sliding move that combos. But, yeah. Clover's really, really strong right now. Like, I easily think, out of everyone in this list, Clover is definitely the strongest. And I'm saying that with Zeta in mind. Like, I don't know, maybe Zeta's better, but I do think Clover is really, really good. But yeah, that's Clover. Very, very fun character. Probably one of my favorite to play, but they're dumb. And that concludes the Genesis character list. That took 3 hours. So, yeah. As of right now, the characters that are 100% going to be at Genesis are Malo, Palm, Trumbull and Alto, Ash, Olympia, Epinal, Targma, Astra, Valkyrie, Yo-Yo, and Hime. So, Malo, Palm, Trum, Ash, Olympia, Epinal, Targma, Astra, Valkyrie, Yo-Yo, and Hime. The characters they're on the fence on: Acid Rainbows, Liz, Rue, Bluey, Zeta, Bird Guy, and Clover. I think all of them would be really fun. Like, all of them would be very fun to play with. As far as, like, a balanced roster goes, I wouldn't include Zeta or Clover, but that's just my opinion. Either way, it's gonna be a fun time. But yeah. That about wraps it up. That took way longer than I expected, but I was expecting it to take a while.